Hello, hello, hello. Time for a spontaneous coffee with the goddess. And this is for the Lightbringers. You know who you are. We are the ones, you are the ones who are we, because me too. We're here to raise the vibration of the planet. You may have found yourself doing a whole lot of emotional work for yourself on your path, for your family and in your relationships. Like Counselor Troy, right? Like Deanna, if you know of this Star Trek Next Generation character who was the empath, right? We are doing so much healing and processing on a collective level that you are likely feeling. If you are sensitive, if you are an empath, maybe you don't, you may or may not identify with Lightbringers, but what I'm telling you is you are a Lightbringer if you are feeling these feels and are like, man, stuff is coming up to be healed so fast and furious. Like, where once upon a time we had this leisurely pace, right? Stuff could come up and then we'd have all this time to deal with it and like talk it out with a therapist or a coach or a shaman or whomever our, guide was. And, and now not only is stuff coming up, this is not a negative thing, right? Sometimes it feels like, for real, why I gotta be, one of my friends posted this, like, why I gotta be the one to heal all the ancestral trauma. Because sometimes it just kind of feels like, can I just sleep in today? Would that be okay? I'm tired of feeling all the feels. And you are designed this way on purpose, and you came here at this moment in time for this very moment in time. So this is the thing, and this is who this coffee with the goddess is for. You are you are a shining light in your community, in your circle, in your family, in your relationship. You may be trading that back and forth with your partner, but this role, what you will find, and I'm finding this everywhere, is that not only is stuff coming up to be worked through and released, integrated, right? Not just released, integrated. So when we talk about ancestral trauma, when we talk about collective healings, we're talking about, in our kind of 3D understanding of it, lots of time. Not everyone has had the same tools or vibrational capacity to kind of like process this stuff, right? I mean, I think even just of my mom's or my grandmother's generation, or this is a great example. I just met, thanks to a wonderful reading with amazing, gosh, I don't even know what to, I'll just call her spiritual teacher and guide, Pat Rice. She, one of the guides that's coming through to support me in these next few years to come as I'm writing this next book, or perhaps there will be another book that she's going to help me with. She was a passionate writer, and she lived at a time where women could not publish freely, not that much. Like, she published under a male pseudonym, and her family thought she was crazy for even having that desire, even wanting to put herself out there in that way. And so as she came through in this amazing session, she was like, don't let anyone tell you not to put your stuff out there. And she also shared that, yeah, in her day, you know, she had to, like, she's like, I had to seem normal. So she's like, I did all the things. I got married, I had kids, I was, you know, she was active in her church, etc. Like, she did all the things to, like, be acceptable. And she had this passion, this hidden passion for writing. And now she's passed that gift on to me, and we're going to work together on something. Because that's what an ancestral guide does. But part of what's being healed there is, so all of her, you know, she published a couple poems, a couple short stories, again, you know, not even able to use her own name. And she had put all of her writings in a handmade, hand-bound book. That's where it all was. And she stored it at the bottom of her dowry chest, like the cedar chest that would get, you know, had been passed down to her by her mother and would be passed down. So this is someone on my father's side, which was really fascinating because I have more of a connection with my mother's side. I was raised by her. So, well, this chest and this treasure, right? As soon as she started talking about this book, I was like, oh my gosh, does this book still exist? I want to find this book. You know, I want to reach out to my relatives and say, like, who knew her? And it was destroyed in a fire. And in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, we are so lucky. I mean, even as fraught as, you know, Google Drive is, we've got stuff like Google Drive. Like, we can save stuff and it doesn't, we don't necessarily have to lose it if there's a fire. And we can self-publish. She's like, I understand that you can self-publish now. And her relationship with her passion is so different from what I am free to do in this day and time. So when that fire took her life's work, she was devastated. I mean, she just crawled into bed. She was like, it was as if she'd lost a child, but no one understood her pain, or no one really, like, you know, because there was no value for it. You know, it was like weird that she did it. And so she waited for someone to be suitably wired to pass this gift on to, and through whom this moment could be healed and her work put out into that energy, right, put out into the world through me. So I share that story because whether it's through a specific ancestral guide like that, or whether it is because I'm feeling this as well, and many of the Lightbringers are feeling this as well, where it's almost like collective trauma. Like, this is a lot of what we're healing right now, y'all, because, like, this is old ways of being and believing, old ways that put one group of people over another group of people. I don't need to name all the isms. We know what they are. And it's like that is going away. I mean, with great discomfort, with lots of growing pangs, but it is going away. And we are ushering in this new collective that honors all perspectives. But as part of that process, we are having to look at some of the most tragic moments of our history. We're having to reintegrate and own our own parts in this history on all sides. Because what I will tell you is this: no matter what you look like in this lifetime, in this body, you've had other lifetimes in other bodies, in other, you know, so just as I've had lifetimes as a witch or a queen, you know, or a priestess in Atlantis, like I've also had those lifetimes where I was a dictator, or one in particular where I wore a pointy white hat. I don't think I need to explain what that was shocking to learn about, but it was like, if you are a global processor, if you are helping to bring the light in at this moment in time, then you, my friend, are an old soul. And if you are an old soul, you have had myriad experiences, which are relevant now, right? We're going to be bringing in intelligence, wisdom from past lives, that's needed now, right? And some of which may surprise you. So all that to say, if it sometimes feels a bit tumultuous, a bit like, oh my gosh, like the transformation roller coaster, you know what I mean? Like, where once upon a time we could kind of leisurely journal our way through, process it, it's like whoop, 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 and then, but you'll notice that the things that come up to be healed get deeper and deeper. We just hit 11:11, so I know this is important. Go deeper and deeper, and take us further into bringing that light in and elevating the vibration, raising the vibration of the planet, which is what you are here to do, which is part of why your skills are so needed now more than ever to help shift some of this old stagnant energy that just needs to be healed, reintegrated, a light shone upon it, so that we can get real about where we've been and create something entirely new, not losing ourselves, right? This is why the ancestral piece is so important. We are bringing in ancient wisdom and marrying it with, our current to create, and then in a space that honors all perspectives so that everyone's contribution is valued. What this creates is a level of creativity and innovation heretofore unseen on this planet. So this is what we're moving into, even though sometimes it kind of feels like we're heading the other way. So I wanted to do a quick coffee with the goddess, just to honor those of you beautiful Lightbringers who are processing lots of stuff, right? All the feels. And sometimes it feels a little bit like you're a wrung out sponge, right? And so is there a little message from Divine Mother? Look at this gorgeous card, Shakti energy. Okay, what's really exciting is PS, as we move into 5D, we're going to have new chakras. That's a topic for another day. But this is like, wow. She's got a lotus blossom here at her crown. Shakti. Ooh. Oh my gosh. We are at 13 and a half minutes, and I am just now getting to the reading. So this is all about energy. So not only is it that in this moment, our awareness of ourselves as energetic beings is more important than ever. Your energy is what comes first. It's the energetic alignment that is going to impact the physical. So like if you're having, stuff is coming up to be healed, traumas are coming up to be seen, healed, reintegrated, parts of ourselves reclaimed. What is so important is taking exquisite care of our energy, right? This is all about nourishment, keeping ourselves nourished, taking time every day to meditate, whatever your practice is, right? Whatever looks like meditation for you. Maybe it looks like prayer. Maybe it looks like walking in the woods. Maybe it looks like dancing. Maybe it looks like all of the above, right? This is what we do first. We fill up that cup first, and then we fill up that cup first, and then this is how we cultivate that unshakable center, right? This is how we're able to become that funnel for all that needs to be resolved and processed. So is by managing and taking exquisite care of our energy. So with that, I do want to add, I'm over 15 minutes, of course. So this will need to be edited down. I do like, another one of my ancestors said that he gave me the gift of gab. Can you tell? Okay, so let me grab my reading glasses. It's time to get serious. Serious. In Hindu India, Shakti, the goddess, is active, powerful, vital, the animating force of the universe. The masculine is actually the passive, inert, dominant force. Each Shakti has her god with whom she unites in sexual union. Without union, neither can do anything. Ooh, so this is all about, like, Shakti is powerful feminine energy, and it's really all about, look at this, like the cosmic egg. It's all about balancing, right? It's about honoring each chakra. So to the tantric mystics, the ultimate union with Shakti happens at the moment of death. Shakti, portrayed here, seated within the luminous world egg, is protected by the serpent Kundalini, the emanation of her own divine energy, right? So Kundalini is that flow of energy that comes up through all of the chakras. Shakti explodes into your life to energize and vitalize you. The way to wholeness for you now lies in learning to work with Shakti, divine, cosmic, orgasmic goddess energy. Have you been feeling tired? Do life and all its demands exhaust you? Do you keep giving your energy, your vitality, without taking in, recharging, revitalizing? Perhaps there is something you want to manifest, but don't feel you have enough energy to do it. So here is the other thing, is that how we are co-creating, how we are manifesting, it's always been like this, but now it's like what went from almost like a nice to have is required, is foundational, is basic. And this is this idea of like energy first, and then energy first, and then. So, you know, in terms of wanting to manifest something, wanting to create something, before you go into that action mode, first revitalize, restore. You know, this is the point that I wanted to make, is that up until now, it's been tolerated to serve from a state of depletion. I would say especially, blah, blah. I was going to say especially for women. And I know this experience so well, having to be female in this lifetime and in many lifetimes before, is like there's a lot of giving. But I also see this among so many of our divine masculine partners as well. Is like just the work, the burnout, you know, this whole idea of refilling, like, you know, that flow of energy. There's a reason why we do the figure eight, you know, in belly dance, that sort of like that infinite loop of energy. This is what we want to tap into, right? This is the energy of co-creation. This balance between giving and receiving, between output and input, right? Between like outflow and inflow, right? So more important than ever, it is to fill up your cup. Take exquisite care of yourself. Tune in. Ask your body, ask yourself, what is that thing that I need next? That, you know, something around which to focus. Maybe it's to, you know, be more hydrated than you've ever been in your life. Maybe it's to take that one thing out of your diet that's been irritating you. Maybe it's sleep. Finally healing your relationship with sleep and allowing yourself enough rest, right? What is that next thing? It could be, you know, like, all right, it's time to needing those bitter greens. All right, no more avoiding that, right? So what is it? Playtime, right? Is it like, when do I play? Never, right? So like finding what is that, just choose one, right? We're so, if you're like me, it's like, I'm gonna do all the things. I'm gonna fix my diet and get more exercise, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and blah, 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 blah. And then I set myself for like nothing happening. So what I've found really works for me is like, choose that one focus. Like, what is that one focus? Like, at least just this week, right? This week, I'm going to get amazing sleep. This week, I'm going to make sure I get, all the water I'm supposed to get and more. This week, I'm going to finally try the gluten-free thing. My body's been giving me those signs for a while. I'm just going to do it, right? What is that for you? Only you know. It is not the same for everyone. There is no one size fits all. Okay. One person's gluten-free is another person's keto. You know what I'm saying? So like, just you choose what works for you, and commit to it. Commit to your filling up your cup. This has been what has allowed me to move through this time, right? It has been a very intense time, lots of stuff we've never seen before or have, but in different forms, and yada yada hoo hoo, right? You don't need me to tell you how extraordinary this time is. What allows us to move through it with grace, with beauty, with sovereignty, is by cultivating that unshakable center. And that has everything to do with honoring yourself as an energetic being first, and nourishment, anointing, right? Rest, play, creativity, all those things that fill us up. No longer a nice to have, no longer I'll fit a little bit in on the weekend. This is daily. These are now daily practices, okay? So if you were like a weekend meditation warrior, is that a thing? Yeah, it is. Then maybe now you make a commitment to do it every day, 5-10 minutes. Doesn't need to be a big thing, right? So, but you will know if it's one of those things or something I didn't even mention, right? All right, my loves, with so much love from my heart to yours, I see you, and know this: all of the processing, the light bringing, the showing up as your glorious self, it is worth it. It is making a difference. We are at such an amazing tipping point, right, at this time in history. And so as you bring your beauty, your wisdom, your intelligence to the table, as you bring your light, all that is uniquely you, your heart, your compassion, your forgiveness, your grace, as you bring all that in, that raises the collective vibration. Suddenly your neighbors will be feeling better and they don't even know why. You're welcome. So this is our role here, right? And it will look different for everyone. It really will. So just trust that it's not in vain, that, you are not alone, not by any stretch of the imagination. And you are seen. I see you. I hold you. You are magnificent. You are magnificent. And I am so grateful that you are here with me at this time. So very cool that we incarnated, right, at this moment in time in history at the same time. So excited to be on the planet with you. Take what you need from this message. And if it reminded you of anyone, if you think someone would benefit from something I said today, please pass it on. From my heart to yours. I love you. Take what you need and pass it on. Ciao.